The most important thing is you gotta follow your passion. It has to be your passion.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi it's something na hindi mo ma-force. I've met a lot of creators that are in it for the money. After a year or two, ayaw na nila kasi walang pumapasok na pera. It's not like I started this, tara gawin natin to just because.
Right.
Para it came naturally to me. I've hosted photo meetups, I've hosted workshops. Now what? Like how do we grow from here?
Kamusta kapwa creators? Welcome to Husay Creator Podcast, powered by Filipino Creators Toronto. My name is Ramon, your host for today. This podcast is all about celebrating Filipino creators and creatives right here in Toronto. Every episode, we sit down with talented individuals, industry professionals, and community leaders to talk about their journey, share behind-the-scenes insights, and exchange tips on how to hone each other's craft. Working with brands as well and trying to build like real-life connections. Today, we're joined by Roland Rongo, a driving force behind Filipino creatives and culture here in Toronto. He's the founder of Balut Nation, a platform spotlighting Filipino talents and events, and creative director at Idea Engine Creative Group, where he leads multimedia production and social media strategy. Roland has played a key role in Filipino events here in Canada, including managing JRoa in Toronto in 2022, organizing Holo Weekend in 2023, and overseeing Stage 2 and media for Taste of Manila. Welcome to the show, Roland.
Hi, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. This is our pilot episode for Who's I Creator podcast, and
Nice.
It's so nice to meet you in person and just be here in this space is actually mind-blowing for me, actually.
Nice.
But before we dive in, what have you been up to lately? Is there any projects that you've been
Right
been
now,
doing? Yeah.
we are in a week of Have Abby.
Yeah,
Sa mga
yeah.
nakikinig dyan, he's an artist coming here in Toronto. One of the biggest OPM artists of the new generation. So
Right.
it's a big deal. And I'm looking forward to it. And also next week, I'm having an event. It's called Harana Nights. It's basically an R&B acoustic night.
Mhm.
So I'm excited for that as well. And everything's been good. Everything has been smooth sailing for me as far as like content creation wise. I've been dealing with a lot of projects, but everything's good. And thank you for having me again.
How you started Balut Nation? Is it your favorite like Filipino delicacy? How did it start?
So-
And what really inspired you to
Okay.
create a
So
platform?
let's start with the name. So basically, para sa akin kasi Balut Nation is something very Filipino. Balut is, a very Filipino culture. And nation represents basically nation, like
Yeah.
togetherness, right?
Yeah.
And so I started Balut Nation 2022. Nagsimula yan, kasama ko si Chrislyn, which was my partner that started that. And then the whole inspiration was, nung nagsimula ako as a photographer, nahirapan ako mag-reach out because there weren't no community, or if there was, hindi siya yung parang
Very
welcoming.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And there's like segregation between Filipino Canadians that are born here and they just came here. So
I see.
I'm trying to build that, and that's one of the mission of Balut Nation. I'm trying to build and bridge the gap between Filipinos creators here in Canada. So, yun. Ginawa ko yun nung 2022,
Mhm.
and over 3 years, madami na kaming naging growth, and at the same time, madami na kaming nakitang nag-prosper sa natulungan or na naging tulay yung Balut Nation sa mga creators ngayon na nakikita nyo.
Yeah. How do you usually connect with these artists? Do they come to you, or do you reach out to them, or it's both ways? Like,
Yes, I guess it's both ways. It varies on the situation and on every project. Give me an instance sa mga nakita mong post base sa research mo. Ano yung mga give me an example.
the reason one is with I'm sorry if I'm not really good with this.
JRoa.
Yeah.
So
No, the food vlogger, the more recent ones.
parang Jess.
Yes, parang just no, not
Okay,
Jay, parang
cool.
just yeah.
So parang Jess actually nag-comment lang ako sa isang post niya on TikTok.
Mhm.
And I didn't know he was big on Facebook. So I commented on his post, and then nag-reach out lang siya pabalik, and we connected ever since. That's it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And we've been partners since. And right now, I serve as his editor slash content creator. Kasi on his own, kaya niya mag-isa. Pero with me, I can elevate his content creation as far as production-wise.
Right.
And as well as I can provide guidance and mentorship. So, yeah.
How did you start with social media and whole production back thing? Was it your program? Is this just like an interest that you eventually like mastered or?
Yeah, so
Okay.
social media and photography or any content creation related, for me, it's just been a hobby. And
Yeah.
for me, it's just been like a thing where it's we're in a generation where phones is like our main gadget, our main thing that we
Yeah.
hold. First thing in the morning, we grab our phone, and for me, it's just a natural development, like learning how to post, learning how to do content. So basically, it's natural. It came out natural, and
Yeah.
for me, the interest came from wanting to explore creatively, and so I started as a photographer, and
Right.
then I moved into videography,
Right.
and also I moved into graphic designing,
Uh-huh.
and so it was a gradual
Yeah.
steps. So yeah,
And then did you have like formal training with it or?
I'm a product of the internet.
Right.
Everything is
YouTube.
just online. YouTube.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So as far as education, no, I did not go to school for it, but I am educated online on, like I said, YouTube and the internet. Yeah.
You've worked with Taste of Manila. I know it's kind of a big event here in Canada. I haven't been. I've been here. I wasn't able to drop by last year. And then JRoa and Hollow Weekend. Which project do you think is most memorable to you? Wait, I think I wanna know. Sorry, I won't let you choose. I'm just
Okay.
gonna ask right straight. But Taste of Manila, like how big of a deal is it? And then why is it just so memorable? And can you just take out all the journey that you've had handling this event?
Taste of Manila, it was one of those surreal moments for me. I grew up here in Canada. Well, I consider myself someone that grew up here. So I've attended Taste of Manila, but this time around it's different because I'm actually part of
The team,
production, part of
yeah.
the team, part of the behind the scenes, right? And so my role, to be clear, is for Taste of Manila, I was the official media coverage
Wow, that's huge.
person. Right. And nagtiwala sa akin yung organizer. She gave me a shot. But then also, it was a turning point for Taste of Manila because for the first time they created stage 2, which is the smaller stage on the other end of stage 1.
Oh, right.
And, for me, it's very it resonates to me because story of underdog. So if stage 1 is for like
The big artist. Yeah.
Stage 2 is like more for locals. So for me, like I said, I relate to that more,
Right.
and for me, when the opportunity came, I was like, okay, yes, I'll do it.
Right.
And yes, and I'm just fortunate to be in a circle where we help each other, we uplift each other, and stage 2 is handled by our circle, our circle of creators slash producers.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was big, it was nice.
Sorry, did can you refresh me again? They reached out to you.
So
Was that like a connection thing, a friend of a friend?
The same person that hired me as the media guy is the same person that assigned one of my close friends
Right.
for stage 2.
Mm-hmm.
So ganun yung nangyari. So yung kaibigan ko na assigned for stage 2, automatically we're in.
Yeah.
Collective kami.
Right.
And yeah, shout out kay Kuya Bipoy, shout out kay Kuya Raf. They always been there supporting me, guiding me throughout my growth.
Yeah.
So yun.
What's the challenging part of like handling it? How did you overcome it? And if you will be given a chance again to be part of this year's Taste of Manila, like what would you do differently?
Interesting question. Wow. Yeah. So
Take your time.
for me, Taste of Manila is a great lesson. Taste of Manila pushed me through the limits and
Mhm.
where dati hindi ko alam na kaya kong gawin to. Dati hindi ko alam na kaya ko palang, kasi dati, like I said, diba, growing up here, nag-attend lang ako, attendee lang ako, but
Yeah.
now I'm actually part of it.
Yeah.
So your question is yung lessons, tama ba? Sorry.
What were the challenges
Okay.
like? Maybe coordinating, setup.
Okay. So
Some
yeah, challenging part was preparation, but at the
Mhm.
same time, working with the collective that I'm in is fun.
Right.
Although it's challenging, but it's
Yeah, because of the work of
right,
just
right,
building it up, right? Yeah.
exactly right. And yes, challenge. The most challenging I would say is, well, interestingly, the most challenging part was on the day off,
Right.
because if you've attended last year's Taste of Manila,
I saw on
it was,
social it was jam packed.
well, it was raining.
Oh,
So
rain,
that was
weather.
challenging to answer your question.
Right,
And
weather.
dealing with that, we had to make some changes. Actually, a lot of changes, a lot of revision to our planning, and the way we executed it is we just gotta deal with what we have.
Right.
We just gotta, move on
Right.
and not dwell with things that we can't handle. So yeah, the biggest lesson I learned with that too is planning can only
Do so much, right?
right. At the end of the day, with with events, you gotta wing it
Right, right,
with what you have.
right.
So yes,
It's very different if you have like a group of people that you have the same wavelength with, right? You just like click like, hey, I need your
Right.
help here, need your help
Exactly.
there, and
and yung collective na tinutukoy ko actually, we're a group of producers as well.
right, right,
So Kuya Bipoy, he's the owner of CEO of WAM, World Alternative Music Production. So
wow,
nagpo-produce sila ng mga shows.
right,
Kuya Raf, one of my close friends as well. He owns Vibe Ant Magazine, which handles social media. Um, I would say, what do I explain? So cut mo na lang to. So,
right, it's okay,
Kuya Raf, he handles Vibe Ant Magazine, which is an online platform,
right,
and as well as we have Frazier as well. He's a director. He owns Cuento Media. So my point that I'm trying to make is we are a group of individuals that got together and stayed solid. So
yeah.
besides Taste of Manila, we also did Itchy Worms here in Toronto.
I think
So-
I kind of saw that
Okay.
on the subway, like,
Yeah. So like going back sa sinasabi ko kanina, although it's challenging, it's fun.
all right,
And you don't feel the challenge because you are working with people that has your back.
correct.
So yeah.
Anything that you would like to try if given the chance to like go back and do another Taste of Manila this year?
Maybe handle it better personally.
Can you try to
Okay, because
Expound on that.
personally, I've been in a situation where I gotta handle my emotional feelings, and set it aside and actually just
focus on?
focus on the work
Yeah.
and make focus on the final product, which I'm not get into the details, but nangyari kasi madaming nangyaring yun nga sa umulan, yung producer dito ganyan, and I have to run back and forth, stage 1, stage 2.
But that's kind of quite far, no? Yeah.
It was far, yeah, and I had to walk.
Yeah.
So yung pa lang, yung physical fatigue got into me, and of course yung mga taong nagsasalita sa akin na,
Yeah, that's understandable.
right.
Right.
So I got to a phase where ayoko nang gawin to.
Right,
Sabi ko,
right.
right. So yeah, nagpatama ako, my feelings got into my head, and maybe next time kung magkaroon ulit ako ng chance, I will handle it better
Mm-hmm.
by being calm and collect,
Yeah.
and just being, think of the bigger picture na ginagawa ko to for the community, hindi para sa akin.
Right, right, right. Because sometimes, I mean, working in events as well, there's a lot of factors, right? One, right, so the weather is really unpredictable, and one thing that I tell my colleagues, especially when we try to set up, is really feed yourself first. Because if you're working and you're hungry,
Oh,
you know
I think you
that
touch on it.
that is really hard to work with and to stomach. But I get what you mean. It's just that sometimes our emotions gets the best of us, but it's not in a way that would, uh, like what you said, it's really solid that you have a group of people that you can rely on too. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from and where you want to improve on. Thank you so much for that. Moving on, what do you think? So 2022, Balut Nation started. What do you think is the one of the biggest impact that you in this run, early run that you have? What is the biggest impact that the Balut Nation has done for the Filipino community here in
Okay, I
Toronto?
wouldn't even consider it an impact, rather, but a change or a shift.
Mm-hmm.
But for as far as impact, I'm just happy to see other creatives, kapwa creatives ko na nagpo-prosper. Seeing them, regardless if I significantly help them or just connect them to a person, but just seeing them, doing good, just seeing them where they are now, it makes me proud. And I'm not even gonna take credit, but just you're talking about impact, but that's what Balut has done for the community: connect people and build and provide mentorship as well.
Right.
So build and guide. Sorry, ano sinasabi ko?
Connection.
So that's Balut Nation, basically establishing that community of creators, building a relationship within creators, and providing mentorship.
Do you have any challenges? Because there's a lot of creators with different visions, right? Did you have any challenge with creators with a different vision than yours, or brands or collaborators?
Yes.
And technically, how do you overcome those situations?
I mean, it happens. It happens all the time. I feel like hindi mo siya maiwasan. It's one of those things that working with people, you're not gonna have a perfect relationship with everyone, right? And there's gonna be differences, but what matters the most is how you overcome it through communication. Because I feel like people tend to deal with it without communicating, which leads to disaster.
Right.
Right? Without communication, you're not really solving anything.
Right.
Like for example, may issue ka sa akin, hindi ka mag-communicate, but rather you would react a certain way na hindi ko ma-appreciate, or you're gonna talk behind my back.
Right.
That doesn't really solve anything.
Right.
Pag nalaman ko pa, then
It's gonna cause a more bigger problem.
right. So that's what happens with a lot of creators, or in life in general. Like a lot of people don't communicate, or don't have the skill to communicate with other people, and
Right.
like I said, it leads to burning that relationship. And once you burn it, there's no more going back. So
Yeah,
You
they,
know.
they always say like don't burn bridges, right?
Right.
But because you never know when you
Exactly.
connect again in the
And-
future.
Yeah, what's interesting is like madami. So you're talking about mentorship. Madami akong sinasabihan na creator na or tinuturuan na mag-refuse without burning the bridge.
Right,
So
right,
let's say
right.
ayoko makipag collab sa'yo. Hindi kita i-ignore, or hindi ko isisin yung message mo, or hindi kita ibabash, but rather, tawag dito, paano ba? Let's say, again,
Maybe it's just not the right time for us to collaborate,
you got
right?
it. Yeah, on point, that's it.
Yeah.
And move on, right?
Right.
Instead of, may work ako. And tapos makikita mo pala, nagpo-post ako na nasaan din. Parang, you would feel a way na, parang...
You're kind of off, right?
Right. The
Yeah.
character is off when you show that. So, yun, siguro, well, out of topic, but yeah, one of the lessons that I keep telling people is learn how to refuse, learn how to communicate, and you will be good.
Right.
Kasi wala namang mali sa pag-refuse, but you gotta communicate that well with the other person. So
Right. And if it's really not the right time, right? There's nothing really we can or you can do about it. It would be great for you to work together, but if it's just not the right time, and then probably you can set it aside for the meantime,
Set,
right?
yeah.
I get what you mean, because even with work, right? You change from one position or one job to another, doesn't mean that you'll burn the bridge from the previous company or from your colleagues there, because you'll never know when you connect with them again, and
Right.
if you did like have a bad blood or something with
Right.
with those people, right? It won't really reflect good on you, right?
And hindi mo alam yung the bridge that you've burned. That person could probably help you in the future, but since
Yeah,
wala
wala
na
na.
kang relationship, it's costing you.
Yeah.
Right.
He or she could have been like your like connection to
Right.
to rising up. Yeah. Um, there are I know you touched this already, but there are in the attention economy, as they say, a lot of people are tuning into creating more content, um, especially for those who wants to go into content creation. But like what we were talking earlier, right? We weren't at the start. We weren't the people that want to be in front of the camera,
Right.
but want to really create. And it's different. Sorry, I'm gonna go off topic, but it's kind of different if you do it faceless, right? You can still do it, but I think learning with all the content creation thing, you will be more engaging if you have
Right.
your face your
I
face
feel
on,
like-
right?
Yeah.
What would you advise to these people who want to build, and maybe the people that you've inspired to make a platform similar to Balut Nation?
But for me, the most important thing is you gotta follow your passion. It has to be your passion.
Mm-hmm.
Kasi hindi mo, it's something na hindi mo ma-force. Kasi let's say, I've met a lot of creators that are in it for the money. After a year or two, ayaw na nila kasi walang pumapasok na pera.
Right.
So they're not really doing it for the right reasons, right? For me, Balut Nation, it's not like I started this, tara gawin natin to, just
Mhm.
because.
Right.
Para ano to eh, para it came naturally to me. And I got to the point where, I've hosted photo meetups, I've hosted workshops. Now what? Like how do we grow from here? And then with the support of the community as well, yun, in-urge nila ako gawin tong Balut Nation to help more creators, and then that's what I did. So my advice would be follow your heart, and as long as wala kang tinatapakan,
Right.
you will be good. And as well as know your purpose. Ano yung purpose mo, ba't mo to sinimulan, and you gotta have a purpose, a bigger purpose than just money and fame, whatever. Because alam, di ba, sa content creation, people get caught up with views, with
Right.
kasi all of that doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, ano yung impact na mabibigay mo sa community or sa mga nanonood, right? Sabihin na natin, cut mo na yun. That's a good answer. On.
Yeah, that's okay. Right. What about for those who are in already, right? They're building their work. And like what you said, there are some that are caught up with the views, with the likes. Oh man, I'm not getting the views that I'm expecting, or I feel like I'm not growing enough.
Yeah.
What would you tell them? What would you tell them to keep on pushing?
Yeah.
It's just like
Kasi,
yeah.
I think I touch on this. Kasi kung alam mo yung purpose mo, hindi mo na titignan yung views eh. And pag yung may mission ka na
But
talaga.
it's so hard, right?
Right.
I mean, I feel
yeah, I'm guilty too. I'm
yeah,
guilty
right.
too. Like,
Yeah.
especially like recently, I've been getting, I wouldn't say viral, but like semi-viral, like 10 digit. Oh, sorry, 5 digit, like 10K plus views. So
Yeah.
it gets to your head. It gets, it's natural. We're human beings, right?
Yeah.
And pero yun nga. So kung may purpose ka kasi at alam mo yun, you will be patient. Kasi pag yung
Right, patience.
Magiging patient ka talaga pag may purpose ka. Kasi kung wala kang purpose tapos you're just going for the views or you're going for whatever reason, hindi ka patient enough. Kasi nga hindi mo alam yung direction mo, hindi mo alam yung kung saan ka patungo, right? Instead compared kapag yung let's say alam mong papunta ka sa ganitong direction, the trip there you will enjoy. Kasi alam mo kung saan ka papunta.
Right.
Instead of like may direction ka pero hindi mo alam papunta. Like magiging mawawalan ka ng gana agad. So yeah, did I answer your question?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Right.
for sure. It's looking at your what would it say? It's the I'm butchering it. It's the something like it's not the
journey, it's the destination.
It's the destination.
Sorry.
It's not the destination.
It's the journey.
It's the journey,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So yeah.
So you just have to like let me just read out what you said. It's really having the patience to like push through and just navigating the journey. Don't get disheartened with the views and the likes, but just always remember the goal that you have in mind and where you want to be, and eventually like you'll find the right people,
Right.
find the right community, and
Right.
eventually we're gonna be there.
That's it. Spot on.
Yeah.
You elaborate that way better than me.
No. I just repeated what you said, but yeah. We're down to our last questions,
Okay.
but in terms of businesses that would that are hesitant to collaborate with content creators, how in your personal experience, how do content creators help businesses grow? And then, are there any practices with your companies or with the
Okay.
people that you're mentoring that you seem to be working? What can those practices are, and if you can share those?
Okay, so sa mga businesses kasi especially, business owners that are a little bit older than the millennials. So kasi tayo millennials, we understand the value of social media. Like most of people are on the internet. Most people are on their phones a lot. So if you are not on social media, if you don't value content creation, you are
Kind of
you are
left
left behind. Yes.
Yeah.
So the world now is digital. 90% is digital. If you are not making content, you are not engaging with your potential clients or your potential
Right.
customers. And for me as a content creator, na-realize ko to nung nag-start ako mag-business na very handy siya na okay, mag-start ako ng business. Well, I'm a graphic designer. Okay, boom. I made a logo. I made some posters. I made this.
Mhm.
Napakadaling kumonek kasi I have those tools. I have those marketing tools that I can utilize, as well as photos, as well as videos. So, sa mga businesses na hindi pa nga nagtatap in sa mga content creators, certain industries, you can survive without social media, but then,
Right.
for the most part, kailangan mo, one way or another, kailangan mo ng content creator sa business mo. So, ano yung second part ng ano mo?
What do you think are the practices that's been working for businesses, right?
Yeah. So for me naman sa mga from my experience is more on not selling, but more on engaging and building relationship, long-term relationship. For example, may product ka ng phone. Instead of like selling this phone, you can create a content where, although it's related sa phone, pero it's more on connecting to the emotional level of the viewer out there. So example lang, Nike for example. Sorry.
Well, no.
Wala kang makikitang Nike has a good quality. Pero
Yeah.
malagi kang makikitang Nike parang may storytelling, parang it will touch your emotions.
Yeah.
Where parang maano ka, it's more appealing that way instead of just sell. Kasi madami yang gumagamit ng social media, but they're very pushy on selling their products. Kasi isipin mo the psychology of let's say ako personally, pag like tanongin kita pag nag-scroll ka, 'di ba? Ang dami mo nakitang ads, right?
Right.
So you don't want another ads from content creators.
Right.
You want something na engaging, na mahuhook mo sila and potentially turn them into clients.
Is there any specific industry that you enjoy working with?
I love working with clothing brands kasi
Right,
doon ako
right.
nagsimula. I used to have my own printing shirts as well.
Nice. Okay.
So doon ko na-enjoy, to be honest, kasi nga doon ako nagsimula. And plus I get to enjoy more creatively sa sa clothing, sa photo shoot. I love it when I'm in the zone where it's either I'm editing or taking videos or directing the shoot. So ito yung area na parang na-enjoy ko the most.
Yeah.
Clothing brand or brand building.
Can you give us like a very quick a thing that you do content creation wise with clothing brands, right? You tapped into emotions or just the experience. So for me, I want to sell my shirt, I want to sell my brand, right? How can I? It's just not posing and wearing
Right.
and taking a picture and posting it. How can we put some oomph or
Okay.
experience?
I guess so. Let's say you have a shirt business. You have a brand. You don't want to sell your shirt. You want to sell your story.
Sorry, yeah, right.
With a story, people gravitate. people appeal to it. People, you get hooked because there's a story that people can relate.
It's like hard hard work.
So I think going back sa ito, a perfect example with Nike. I have a prime example with LeBron, or alam mo yung line nila na, oh, I've spent hours in the gym,
right,
whatever. Ikaw as an athlete, I was like, oh yeah, I've been in the gym. Parang
right.
Makaka-relate ako. Instead of like, oh, great quality to, oh, you would never hear that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you would hear stories of yung athletes in the gym, or yung hardship ng pinagdaanan nila. Kasi may story yung brand. So
Right.
yun yung masasabi ko. Create a storyline and be consistent with the storyline.
Yeah, it's tapping into the emotion, right? I understand it, and then making a story, which I think those are the things that probably. Well, I'm not gonna. Well, yeah, I think that those are the ones that are lacking, because we just don't want to post, but we also want to kind of weave it all together and
Exactly.
push it in a way that it's kind of like an experience as well.
Right. So yun na, I think you tapped in on it as well. You are creating an experience for your followers.
Yeah. What do you want them to feel after they consume your content, right?
Right. Emotions.
Right.
So I mean, for me, selling, or basically consumerism, is all about feelings.
Right.
If you don't have a feelings towards a brand, you're not gonna buy it.
Right.
You're not gonna buy a brand because maganda yung quality, or maganda yung kulay. No, you're gonna buy because it's the brand.
Right.
It's either Nike or whatever the brand is. You buy it because of the brand, because the brand has a story. So
yeah, I guess what's next for you? You have your events, right?
and for me, just stay tuned for more content, food wise, coverage for events, and also, like I said earlier, I have an event next week, Harana Nights. Ewan ko kailan mo ito ma-upload, but it's an R&B acoustic night. So
this is on
April
5. Yes.
Yeah, and yeah. Just stay tuned. I have more. I have more in my tank. I have more in my vault, and I'm just looking forward to collab more with creators, and just build more with creators.
Thank you so much for dropping by. Where
Yes.
can they find you? How can they connect with you?
Okay. So social media is Balut Nation, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, as well as Roland Rongo on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Roland, for
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
sharing your
Yeah,
stories.
thank you.
Before we go, you can also support our podcast by following us on our socials. That's Filipino Creators TO. And thank you so much, Bella Milo, for this space. And I guess that's it for this episode.
Awesome.
Thank you for staying with us. Thank you again, sir,
Yes.
for
Thank you as well.
thank you for your insights. I really enjoyed our conversation,
Yes.
and this won't be the last that you will be seeing us collaborate for sure. We will catch you all on the next episode. This is Husay Creators Podcast. Until next time, bye.
Thank you.